What's going on, guys? It's your boy Anthony back with another edition of the Fourth Man Podcast. Thank you guys again for tuning in and happy to be back. It's been a little bit over, I guess a little bit under a month since the end of the Big 3 season, and it's early in the offseason. Not too much has happened just yet, but we're still want to try to get some postseason, or I guess, not the postseason, but post hyphen season reactions from some of these guys. So that's the goal, really, and to make sure that I'm keeping you guys aware and updated on everything that's going on in the Big 3. One major announcement that's come on, and then also an interview at the end of this episode. So this first half will be pretty short. Before we get into the one big news that's happened in the Big 3 since the end of the season, I want to make sure you guys are following on all social medias. That's where most of the content that I'm producing, you'll be able to see on a more regular basis at Fourth Man Pod, 4TH Man Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and any other social media platform. It'll probably always be Fourth Man Pod. If you want to find the shows on YouTube, youtube.com/Fourth Man Pod, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when all the new episodes come out. It's kind of a scattered schedule throughout the season. And thank you again to everyone on Dash Radio and the Nothing But Net channel for tuning in as always. Like I said, pretty short first half of the episode. Not a ton of news going on, obviously, with the ending of the Big 3 season. It's more of just like kind of closing and tying some loose ends to close out a very successful and satisfying 2022 season. But one major story or headline that came out is that the CEO of the Big 3, Chris Hannon, has been released. It was announced on August 31st that he would be out as CEO and that Ice Cube would be taking over. I don't know if it's for the interim or for the, it's just a solidified position that he's now the CEO, but Chris Hannon is out. And funny thing is, like, when I go to look this information up on the internet, you can only find positive things or from, I guess, like SEO searches. It's only allowing you to find stories on when Chris Hannon was hired as CEO like 2 years ago. So that's kind of weird. I don't know. That's just like coincidence, or maybe like covering that up after, losing a big title like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just assuming there, but I just thought that was weird. So I had to go back and look at it on my phone when I actually posted or made the post on my social media page. But yeah, Chris Hannon's out as CEO after just 2 years. And, I guess it's somewhat expected, right? I mean, first and foremost, I don't know how long of a leash you give to CEOs. Like, that seems like a pretty heavy investment to make. So it seems like you would stick with your CEO for a long time. But in this instance, right, you have a CEO and essentially you're bringing in Chris Hannon to say, hey, we've been off for a year. We need you to help not only get us back to the success we were having, like back to that point, but also take it a step further. We need to be able to grow this thing and showcase the results even further than what we were doing after coming back from, not having a season. So pretty tough challenge coming in for any CEO, right? To make sure that everything's up and running and that, ultimately you're seeing like good things happening and you're able to raise awareness and drive revenue and ultimately be able to pay your players and have a good product and all those things, right? Like it's a very hard, tough job. And I think, for Ice Cube, he's already got so much on his plate. He had to appoint someone to handle the day-to-day within the Big 3. And it's tough because, like, it's been a struggle to get through the past 2 seasons. Like, let's not put it lightly. Having a year off did some damage to the league about the awareness. Really just like the progress they were making, I felt like it's kind of halted and maybe even took a step back a little bit because of the year off. And it was always going to be a tough job. And I think, at the point we're at now, I think Ice Cube made it a point in time where he's like, hey, like, I don't know if it's necessarily any hard feelings, but like things didn't end as well as you wanted to at the end of the season. You got players and coaches happy. ISO Joe looks like he's no longer part of the league. For the past 2 seasons, the teams have had to be removed at the end of the season so that you can make sure that you can continue on and finish out, whatever season we're in. I mean, it's just some tough, and that's just a couple of things that haven't gone well and have left their imprint negatively on the league. over the past 2 years. That's just a couple things. Like it's been a lot of things that have been going on. I don't even know the things that are going on behind the scenes. I just get kind of some I don't want to say necessarily like tips, but I some guys informing me, some things that could be going on, or like that the fact that there is something going on. What it is exactly, I'm never, or I'm not usually sure of, but guys are letting me that some things are going on, and it seemed like from the post that I'm not gonna like call anyone specifically, but it seems like from the post, like there was like kind of a positive reaction from the people that are involved with the league, players more specifically, and maybe some personnel, but some guys that were kind of excited about the move. So that was kind of interesting to see as well. I think what it boils down to at the end of the day is this: it's Ice Cube sees that one, like with Chris Hanna as CEO, things weren't going well. He wasn't able to accomplish ultimately the goal that he had set out for him. And there's not really like much longer of a leash that you could give him. Like this is a startup league. Like things have to move quickly. You have to make things happen fast. And like 2 years is maybe too long of a leash when things aren't going right when you're a CEO for a startup sports league. So I think part of it is that. I think the other part is like Ice Cube, and I think we kind of saw this kind of at the end of the year, is he's at a point where like, hey, maybe I just need to take over the reins. Like, kind of the moment of like, fine, I'll do it myself, right? Like, I think this is kind of his baby, his project. Everything he's done has been successful. And this is not to say this hasn't been successful, but it's definitely not on the scale that I think he's seen his success in the past, but also too where he wants this league to go. Like, I think at the end of the day, Ice Cube wants this thing to be going forever and always, even, past his days. So I think he's at a point in time where they're in a crucial spot, and he said, "Hey, fine, I'll do it myself. I'll put more eggs in this basket than I am into other things. At least that's what it seems like. And I'll take over as CEO for now and make sure that by the time the 2023 season happens next summer, that we are good, locked in, and ready to go. And that 2023 is the biggest success story that we've had in this league since the inception in 2017. Like, I think that's just what it comes down to. At least from the outside perspective. Now, internally, like it's I've mentioned before, it sounded like some things weren't going well, and I think you can also look at it as well. It starts at the top, so like maybe we just remove the what's not happening, or what the people at the highest authority levels aren't providing. Remove them, and then start from there, and it trickles down, and you just try to figure out where those gaps and holes are, and how you can ultimately like reverse some of the things that haven't necessarily been going well, combine them with the things that are going well, and hopefully you have that successful season. So, I at the end of the day, it could be something drastically different. It could be something that's, just something that happened that was unacceptable, that it made sense, or not made sense, but it had to be done. Like the switch as CEO had to be done, potentially because of what happened. I don't know, but ultimately, like that's how I see it from the outside looking in. You're at a point where like you don't have a long leash. You're in a small startup sports league that's seen a lot of success early on, that was progressing well. COVID affected it just like it did everything else in the world, and the results on the post-COVID world haven't been up to par. You would hope that with for Chris Hanna, when he came in as CEO, he's like this from his background. He's like this, he's had CEO experience, and he's been like a high VP in other places, and he's had a lot of background in marketing. So I think that was the appeal, right? Like, oh, like this guy who's this marketing expert, who's had a lot of success at other companies, being able to like grow their brands and help them evolve and go from like small to medium-sized business to ultimately like enterprise company. Like this is the guy that we want to hire. It sounds all good until things aren't going well. And I think something that, we've talked about in the Big3 community is like, you bring in people with experience, but like for a sports league, do you bring in people specifically more catered to like a background with working for different sports leagues, or more so like just experience in general, right? I think that for at least for me personally, it seemed like it would make more sense to bring people in from that have worked in other sports leagues before, because they kind of know how things go. Even if it's like bringing in a CEO that doesn't have a ton of marketing experience, like he probably understands the background of marketing working within a sports league. That's just my input on it. Like, you know, again, who knows what's going on in the background, but like from the outside perspective, that's what it seems like would make the most sense. Maybe Chris Hannon does have that experience and I just don't know it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what's done is done. Chris Hannon is out as CEO. Ice Cube will take over, and we'll see if anyone's replacing the long call. But I think for Cube, like, he's making, he's at this point, it's almost like he's doubling down. He's going to make sure this thing is successful. And I think, like, honestly, it's not just to make it successful, but have it grow. We want to see expansion of like teams and players. So many guys are like more guys year in and year out are wanting to get involved in this league, whether it's like higher profile guys or guys that just are looking for an opportunity. And I think Cube realizes that he wants to continue to open the door and have this league successful, but got to get some things, got to get some revenue coming in. Like some ticket sales were doing a little bit better, like later in the summer. Views on TV are doing well, but like I just don't think they're driving enough like revenue to ultimately be able to take that next step. So hopefully they can do that by putting on a great show, working with great venues, so that everything is beneficial for them, and just drawing more attention and people to the games, making it more accessible for people. I think they did that from a TV perspective, but having it in the same location, most of the season probably is going to help more people learn about the league, which I know like there's been some restrictions on that, but hopefully the right things are coming, right? I don't want to look at this as like a negative thing by any means. Like I think they've had some turnover at the CEO spot because they're a small startup. They're going through like discovery, and they're trying to test out what's working and what's not. So a lot of trial and tribulations, and I see this as a positive more than anything. That Cube is like, hey, it's time for me to step in and let's go get this thing. Let's make this thing happen. And if anybody can do it, it's Ice Cube. So I'll trust in him to see I'll trust in him really just to see, like an incredible 2023 Big 3 season, maybe some things that we've never seen before, success we've never seen before. And I think if anyone can do it, it's definitely going to be Ice Cube. So that's really the biggest thing that's happened since the offseason. And that's a pretty big deal from, a personnel standpoint, but on the court standpoint, guys are still doing their thing. But that's going to wrap up this first half. Make sure you tune in on the back end for our interview with, you probably have already seen the title, but with Earl Clark, Big 3 champion, 2022 Defensive Player of the Year, number 2 pick in last year's Big 3 Draft. Just got a chance to chop it up with them. It's an interview I have been seeking forever. He's been a tough guy to get on, but I really appreciate him just like sticking with me, working with me. And when the time was ready, he was down to do it. So we got to chop it up, talk about how he got into the Big 3 in the first place, all the way to being a Big 3 champion. So thank you to everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you follow on social at Fourth Man Pod, subscribe on YouTube, and let's get to our interview with Earl Clark. Before we get into our interview, I want to take a quick sec to talk about Drip. Drip is a live streaming platform where you can buy and sell a multitude of items such as sports cards, Pokemon cards, Funko Pops, sports memorabilia, you name it. And you can do so all from one centralized location. And right now, if you download the app using my link in the description, you'll get $15 off your first purchase of $20 or more anywhere on Drip. Look, we all know how innovative and game-changing the Big 3 has been on the game of basketball, and Drip is doing the same thing for collectors. So make sure you use my link in the description to download the app today and get $15 off your first purchase. And now let's get to our interview with Earl Clark. All right, so today we're excited to welcome on an NBA vet. He's the number 2 pick of the 2021 Big 3 Draft, this year's Defensive Player of the Year, and recently can now put this on his title, Big 3 champion, Earl Clark. Thanks again for coming on, and welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, want to say thank you for the time. I appreciate it. I know you're playing overseas, but like pretty successful summer that you just wrapped up. Let me just start here. How was life as a champion? How are you feeling going into this season overseas here in like the fall, winter time?
Oh, it feels great, man. Winning always feels good. We started out Big 3. they won a championship last year. So when I got on the team, it was uh, a different level of focus. We wanted to definitely repeat and follow through, and I feel good to definitely achieve it.
Yes, sir. It's got to feel good helping them win like back to back too, because it's a lot of pressure coming on a team that's already won it, and then with the expectation like, hey, you're gonna be that dude that's gonna fill the role of our most important player last year. Like,
Yeah,
make sure
yeah,
you have your
absolutely.
shit up, you know?
Especially the way they did it last year. So it wasn't really too much pressure. Like I said, it was a lot of fun, man. All them guys, I know them well. Um, and I was just having fun, man. It was just a great fit, honestly.
And that's awesome to hear. And was this your first title in any league? Have you won a title overseas?
Man, it's crazy. I played in a few finals. Basically, everywhere I've been overseas, I've been to the finals, and I haven't won once, bro. So
Okay.
honestly, I've been catching L's in the finals for real, maybe like 3, 4 times in a row. So uh, I won a Big East championship in college.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, yeah, that's probably the only championship I had, bro. Big East, which is a hell of a championship. Like I said, when I played in the Big
Facts.
East, it was the best conference college basketball that year. So it was a great achievement. But other than that, that was it.
Yeah. So you just had to open the floodgates a little bit. So you got that first pro one. So now from here, they're just gonna keep coming.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're on the
yes,
start of the
sir.
next one right
Hey,
now.
that's how I feel too, man. So it's up from here.
For sure. I want to rewind a little bit and talk about the journey a little bit, getting to the big three and ultimately getting to this championship point. You played in the NBA for a long time, got a stellar career overseas, but where did the big three opportunity come from? Like rewinding it back to last year before you were even picked by Tri-State.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the Big 3 since it started. I always knew that I was gonna play in it. I just wanted to, just pick which year I wanted to play, and I just, signed up, man. I seen how competitive the league was, how much fun it was. I actually caught a few guys coming from a flight. I was leaving Vegas with my wife, and I seen some of the guys, and they was telling me how much fun the league was. Al Harrington was on the flight.
Okay.
Mark Banks, and I chopped it up with them, for a little bit on the flight. So once I got off, I knew I was going to play, and the next year I signed up.
Man, that's pretty cool. You got some of the OGs telling you about the league to
Yeah,
get
for
you hyped
sure.
up. I feel like
Yeah.
the way it is here lately is like anyone and everybody's trying to be a captain, and then they got boys like ready to recruit, like hop on the
Nah,
team. But
for
that's
sure. And the
cool.
crazy thing is, I was supposed to be on Trilogy the first year because I was talking to Stack before the draft even happened. You know what I'm saying? So before the draft, I thought I was going to play for Trilogy because he told me he was going to pick me. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's crazy. Um,
I just know Jay Rich was on the team. I knew Nate and those guys like that. But that's when I found out I was going to Tri-State.
Man, that's crazy. So we do a draft show, and we had Dante on, and he was saying that your name had a lot of hype in it going into the draft, so it wasn't too crazy to
Yeah,
like see you go so high. Did you
yeah.
expect to go at number two to Tri-State? Like you had the conversation joining Trilogy, but did you have any conversations with like Jay Rich, anybody on that squad?
No, not at all. I didn't know that they was gonna pick me. I mean, of course I knew Jay Rich. I played with him in Orlando,
Uh-huh.
and that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Me and Jay Rich been cool since we've been playing together. So when they picked me, I'm like, man, Dr. J gonna be my coach, Jay Rich, Nate Robinson. I was definitely hyped, you know what I'm saying? It was a great opportunity, but going into the situation, I thought I was gonna be on Trilogy.
Man, that is a
Yeah.
crazy what if scenario with you, Jack,
Oh
Briscoe,
man, yeah, that would have
Amir,
been
like
great. That would have been scary though. I don't think that would have been fair, bro.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it would have been either because we saw how y'all done in the past 2 years, and if you and Jack are on that team too, like that's a crazy thought. That's a crazy trio to think of. Like maybe potentially the best we've seen in the big three. So
No, bro,
how do
that
you
would have
convince
been
Jack to come back?
man. Man, that would have been love for sure.
Yeah. Talk to me about
That going,
the kind of the makeup of Tri-State with like Dr. J. Obviously, you've known Jay Rich for a while, but then you have a lot of these like I think the way JD described it in the past was a bunch of small Washington guards, or that's how Coach Mix might have described it or something. But like, what were your impressions of like joining Tri-State, playing under Dr. J? Um, like after expecting to be with like Stack and Trilogy.
oh man, it was fun. It was felt like we had a good season. Even that year, end of the season, we was the #1 team in Big 3. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we dropped the egg against Trilogy actually and lost to them, but it was super fun, man. I used to trip me out sometimes just going to practice or being riding in the bus, over to a game. I'm like, man, I'm chilling with Dr. J. Or he my coach. And it's like Dr. J is like MJ level for real. Like he's, you know what I'm
Facts.
saying, different. He a different type of goat. Like, you know what I'm saying? He one of them boys. So it's like I just cherish every moment, even with like Nate Robinson, like he's super cool, funny as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? We had a great
Yeah.
time. It was just a good experience. You know what I'm saying? Larry Sanders, super cool. I got close with him. So we just had a good time, man. I thought we was gonna win it for sure, but we just came up short.
Yeah. I mean, you still got a chance to go to the Bahamas. Obviously, you want to come out with a title. But what's crazy to me is, I think I just put this together, is that you actually joined the team that beat you in the playoffs. But I just
Yeah,
put two
yeah,
and two
that's
together.
crazy. So I'm like, in my eyes, I had to win. Cause think
Yeah.
about it, if I left a team that, you know what I'm saying, that beat us, that would have looked crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's just whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was supposed to be with them in the first place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew one thing, I was gonna take care of business, so I wasn't really tripping about the move for real.
Nah. As long as you win, everyone forgets everything else beforehand. Like I
Nah,
said, I just thought of that
absolutely.
right here on the spot.
Yeah, it make more sense for real with the win for sure.
Facts. So obviously a tough first season with Tri-State, mostly because y'all were the #1 seed. Like the way y'all came up at the end of the year was like on that team just
Yeah,
made me look at this league a lot differently. Like y'all were able to like slow down Joe the last week, kind of gave the formula for everybody else, and then y'all you make your way to the #1 seed, only to fall to the 4 seed, like a tough 4 seed for sure. But
yeah,
then, what did you learn from that first season? Because a lot of what I hear from other guys is like it's a lot on your body to play overseas for most of the year, and then you come home for your off season, your break, and then play. Ultimately you're playing in the Big 3. I know it's only 8 games. I know it's every other week, but like, what did you learn from that first season? And ultimately, why did you want to come back?
Oh man, mainly because I had a lot of fun, man. Just
That's cool.
playing at home. Like I said, I was playing in Europe for the last 5, 6 years. So just being my kids being able to come to a game and just being able to reconnect with some of the guys that I play in the NBA with. You know what I'm saying? There's been times where I've been on teams where I was the only American. So it just feels good sometimes where you can just, around people that just take small things for granted sometimes. Like everybody speak English or everybody,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
you've been coming up with camps, since you was 13, 14. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing guys like Mike Beasley, Mario Chalmers. And, bring that feeling back when you was a kid and when you used to be at ABCD camp or things like that. So, it was just super fun, man. So I knew that the next year I was going to come back.
man, that's cool. Yeah, I've heard about the camaraderie in the league, and it just feels like it's not just like you're going to play a game. It's like you're going for like a good time with the guys. Like it's all about the
Yeah,
experience as
and at the
well.
same time, it's super competitive. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
You think it's sweet, you can get your ass bust too, you know what I'm saying? And it's on CBS, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got CBS, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So like, you could definitely catch your issue too. So it's like it was competitive. So it was for me.
yeah. And what's like the way I look at it sometimes, like I felt like the past 2 years, like the officiating's been a little questionable. But bro, I also feel like too, like that has brought out a different level of intensity in this league. Like we definitely saw a
Yeah.
bunch of games this year that were super
Yeah, I
competitive.
think I think it's both ways. I think they calling it honest, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I think at least we could say that, you know what I'm saying? It's not leaning
yeah.
towards. anybody way. I think it's consistently, like you said.
Just a little poor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, no. At least, yeah, at least it's consistent. But yeah, like I don't know. I feel like the level of intensity the past 2 years has just been like up, but like in a good way at the end of everything. Like when you look at who won it all, you're like, yeah, like competitive season, but the best team
No,
definitely won it all. And I think we saw that again last year. Um,
yeah,
what's crazy is like I feel like you were on the number one seed last year with Tri-State. You're on the top seed this year with Trilogy. This might be a hard comparison for you, but like, and maybe not because you're on this team currently, but like looking at those two teams, like which team do you feel like was put together, uh, the best of last year's Tri-State team you were on and this year's Trilogy team you're on?
and it's crazy because we both won championships, so it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to say. But I like the team I'm on for sure because I'm on the team. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm that big of a difference. You know what I'm saying? I think me and Briscoe is like we're just hard to handle. Amir, you know what I'm saying? He's super dog. Like it just matched perfectly. So I'm gonna go with the team that I'm on, the trilogy team that just won.
Right. And then what about like the Tri-State team you were on last year? Like the number one seeded Tri-State last year.
Yeah, that was tough too, cause
Man, that's
as you can
crazy.
see, Jay Rich is still active. Like you know what I'm saying? He's still going crazy. So man, I don't
Maybe
know.
the team
I
that you
feel
won it
like
all with. Yeah, like
yeah, of course. Like I would come with a team out because we won a chip and we fell short with uh with Tri-State. But I just feel like if nah, I'm gonna just go with Tri-State, man. I'm not going. I mean, Trilogy. I ain't gonna make no excuses, man. You know? Yeah,
yeah, you ran into the buzzsaw of the iteration of last year's Trilogy. So
yeah, exactly. I can't make no excuses, man. We lost, so it's whatever.
yeah, yeah. But champion now. Kind of want to continue this story on like, okay, you're in the off season now, long off season. You're going to play overseas, and like Jack ends up leaving the league. He's one and done, won it all, rode out into the sunset. What's how are the conversations early on when they find out Jarrett's leaving and there's now an open captaincy spot? And after the story you just said, like probably thinking Stack's probably thinking like, hey, how can we get this team on? But like, what's the conversation like starting in the off season?
Yeah, I mean, I was in tune with Stack, like I said before the league even. Before I even thought about playing in the league, I knew him. So it was just casual conversation. He hit me like, man, the captain spot is yours if you want it. You know what I'm saying? So in Tri-State, it was just a situation where I don't think it was enough captain spots. I thought,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he was tied in with those guys, so I know it was, I didn't really just want to wait around, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I was going to be on Trilogy anyway the first year, so it was an opportunity, and I thought I fit good over there, and I just made that move. You know what I'm saying. And I hit him back a few weeks before it started, and let him know that I was going to play with them.
Man, that's cool. Super casual. They got the guy. I think it worked out for everybody because JD
Yeah, for
got his
sure.
spot solidified. You got your spot solidified. You won a chip.
Yeah, exactly. And I
So
was happy for JD too because I feel like he deserved that captain spot as well because I mean he played well for a guy that didn't get drafted. He killed the combine and all that. So
yeah,
that's my guy. So I was happy he got that captain spot.
yeah. You talked a little bit about the make of this team, like what makes y'all so dangerous, and you guys do like a lot of things like really well. I would love to know from you, like, what do you feel like the strength of your team is this past year that made y'all so successful, especially down the stretch?
Man, I just think we can guard, bro.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people sleep on the defense. Even I mean, just Briscoe, me, and Amir. Like we can switch. We all play key factors in defense. We always get key stops in the game. It's me, Amir, or Briscoe. So it's like it don't matter if I shot even fall in a little bit. It's all right because we can get stops. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the key. You know what I'm saying? Getting stops and rebounding. And with me and Amir control the glass, You know what I'm saying? We keep people in front of us and offensively it's easy. We all can score. So it's like we get stops, we're gonna win. That's why I always was preaching since the beginning.
Bro, let me go back to the thing you said about defense. You just came off a Defensive Player of the Year award, but I still feel like you don't get credited with the respect you deserve on defense. And I was actually, in preparation for this interview, I was just seeing that there were some old interviews on you in the past, and I saw one from 8 years ago, and you're still talking about defense back there, what you can do. And even
Yeah.
after a Defensive Player of the Year, setting the steals record, blocks and steals, like I still don't know if the league has described enough how well, if not, maybe being the best defender in the league. Do you feel like you're still proving a point on defense even after, racking up, a Defensive Player of the Year award amongst probably other accolades?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, I think they just be sleeping on me, period. I mean, even
Yeah.
last year, Tri-State, like I'm guarding guys like Joe Johnson, and you know what I'm saying, 2 times in a row. Well, he's killing the league, you know what I'm saying? When we play against Tri-State, no, that wasn't happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't
Yeah.
going. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like the last week one, I feel like Joe got down on me. Like he got a few moves, you know what I'm saying, that I ain't gonna lie, it bothered me, you know what I'm saying? That's why I came back from week one. You seen what I was on, you know what I'm saying? He woke me up for sure. But I just feel like even last year, nobody said nothing about my defense or anything. Even this year, I mean, I'm strapping, I'm doing whatever, I'm guarding guards, bigs, whatever. But at the same time, it's like they saying something, but they brush it in under the rug, which is cool. Like I don't really do it for recognition. I'm just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's when my name come up, just put some respect on. That's all I ask. But I feel the same way. I just feel like they be sleeping. I mean, with everything.
Yeah. I just like that put in perspective for me. I'm like, this dude was talking about this 8 years ago, probably done way
Yeah.
more since then. And still, like, even after Defensive Player of the Year, and like breaking records, like I don't know. I just feel like that's not discussed enough. You're in the basketball inner circle, like brotherhood, so you probably know it better. But I just don't feel like in the outside community, especially in the Big 3 community, that's being discussed enough.
For
Just
sure, they
what you did
definitely.
defensively.
Yeah, they definitely don't mention it enough or don't because I mean it's crazy stat. I mean the stat line that I put up is insane if you really think about it. For them to not even for the MVP and all that, like
Yeah, yeah,
it had me fifth place voting. Like how when I'm leading in most of the categories, my team number one, and it's like, bro, I'm having my way out here. So it's like how
yeah,
like even too hard to guard. Like come on, son, like bro.
yeah,
I'm guarding, and who's guarding me? I'm scoring on guards and bigs, mid range threes, post ups, like what? And we the number ones. Like I don't really be getting what people really be seeing or what they be thinking. But I just play ball. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We got the rings, so that's all that matters.
Facts. I think the MVP award and the Too Hard to Guard award have become attached together the past 2 years, where I feel like
Yeah,
they really need to be split. Like that is such a difference in being like the most valuable player and like just being a dude who can get a bucket whenever he wants and can't be stopped.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I really do feel like because I think I made a post about you and there's this conversation about should he maybe be in the MVP? You're lead, like you said, leading the league in rebounding and steals, only person with double digits blocks and steals. Uh, you know, top 10 in points. I mean, like that seems like you're hitting all facets of the game. Um,
Yeah, come on, man. Like
like it's
that's
got
what
to be
I
a
be
tough
thinking.
conversation for like all guys when like Murph is over here scoring like 26 a game in a game that goes to 50. Like,
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, but does Murph like not to take away here? He's a hell of a player, but like he's the guy on that team. He's the volume shooter. Like
yeah,
that's another thing. Like I think I would have took like maybe 4 free throws the whole. My baskets just all baskets. Like all you
yeah,
know what I'm saying. Isolation, getting money, tough shot baskets. Like and I'm playing with a killer with Briscoe, who's you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
He's downhill. He's a demon. I gotta pick my spot. So it's like nobody's doing that, bro. Like they
yeah,
don't really think they're not really sitting back and really thinking and looking at that. But
yeah. And you were starting the year as like as the fourth man. Really, you were coming off the bench to start the first couple games.
Yeah,
So,
man. How does that happen, man? Like I said, man.
hey,
Like
that's
I
a
said, they
conversation for
always
Stack. He
sleeping
the one
on
you on the
five,
team, and he
man.
rewarded you with the first man off the bench spot.
Yeah, come on, man. But you know what I'm saying? We had to get that right. You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah,
worked. You see, it ain't take long, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I respected it. Like I said, I respect them guys. I was new on the team. What can I say? They just wanted to chip. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's just what it is.
You brought up Briscoe a little bit. I would just love to hear your perspective, but like, what makes him so tough, and why do you feel like he's still, or he hasn't gotten another shot in the NBA, despite what he's doing? It seems like he's doing everything outside of just the
Yeah,
NBA, but he can't get that look.
yeah. Riscoe is a unique basketball player. It's like you know what he gonna do, but you still can't stop it. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
super strong, stronger than most guards. He's downhill. His left hand is tremendous, and he can go both ways. And his shot is improved. So
Yeah,
it's like not people can't say he's not getting better. He's still young. He's still growing. He's getting better. It's just that it sucks, but in NBA is not enough spots, bro. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's just, and I always tell people all the time. I had this conversation. Like I wish they would like utilize the G League more and like and pay people more so a lot of kids can stay home and it
yeah,
can be one of the best leagues better than Europe. I mean, I be telling people sometimes it might be better than some NBA games because we have that much talent that's at home already. You know what I'm saying? But
mm-hmm.
at the same time, it's just especially the point guard position. That's to me, that's the hardest position in the league.
Yeah,
It's so many tough guards in the states, bro. If you can go to any state, any corner, it's a little guard that can get buckets, that can, you know what I'm saying, magician with the ball. So um, it's a numbers game, bro. So I feel like even Briscoe, he gets slept on a lot, and you kind of get lost in the shuffle because it's so much talent here.
yeah. That's been a topic of discussion we've had a lot this year. Is just talking about like, all right, you get to play in the G League, you get to be stateside. You're like literally like inches away from being an NBA team, but at the same time, like, how long do you stay? Because you're just not getting paid anything to be
Yeah,
devoting your life to
it's
this.
other opportunities, man. People got families, and it's like
Yeah, yeah,
tough, man. At the same time, it's like it's the greatest opportunity because it's right there. It's like
right.
you right there in the NBA, but it's one step away. So they see you, but like I said, sometimes it's like how long do you stay? You know?
Yeah. Hopefully Briscoe gets that shot, but it's cool to see that he's open to any opportunity with, that could potentially make him successful and just you
It's
can
a
see
lot
he's
of
like really put a
basketball.
lot of work into it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's a hard
Um,
worker, man.
I want to go back to the season real quick because I mentioned that y'all had a great run down the stretch. I don't think y'all lost after week 4. But the game in week 4 that y'all lost was that first game against Aliens. That was like the last loss y'all had in the season, but that was a pretty tough one just because there's some missed
Oh,
opportunities there and they took advantage of them. How did y'all feel like that changed the course of your season ultimately?
man, yeah, that one hurt because we gave the game away. Like I was saying, I think we left maybe 12 points on the line. I think I
Mm-hmm.
missed free throws. Briscoe missed like 4. I think Amir missed maybe 1 or 2. So we were struggling and we didn't make our free throws. So we made our free throws. The game would have been over a long time ago. The aliens, I feel like they couldn't play with us. We were just a better team all around. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
it's just like, bro, it sucks. We should have never lost to them. That's why when we played them in the playoffs. It's like, bro, we got to win this game because we just remembered like we lost. We gave that game away. And I don't know what it was with the aliens in the big three, but they want them to win so bad. Like they gave them a bye. Then they lost 3 in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
row. I'm like, how they in the playoffs? They just lost 2 in a row or something. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. But we got them up out of there. But yeah, it was just we just knew that we had to tighten up and make our free throws. I think after that we shot great from the free throw line.
Man, yeah. I think that was just really the biggest difference, just missing free throws. And they got like the first game, they had a ridiculous amount of rebounds. I think the second game,
Yeah, for sure.
y'all came in
Yeah,
and were like,
what's his
no.
name? DJ Stevens. He's a hell of an athlete. He's tough.
Yeah. I think they had like 44 to your 25, but like that second game, y'all were just hitting on all cylinders. Came back a little bit, like we talked about it earlier with the officiating. So came back a little bit, like y'all did your
Yeah.
thing. Aliens were an interesting conversation all year because like you like what they bring to the table, but they also played all their wins
Yeah,
came from bad
exactly. I knew that was
teams.
gonna be scary because they play the right way. They always crash and they cutting, and it's different from just like checking the rock and like going ISO. Like they really run plays and all that. So
But they
you got
needed
to
that. Like if you think
nah
about
for
it,
sure.
their
Yeah,
team
that's their
needed
game.
that. It took too long for them to score. Like their dudes just couldn't get. They were not getting the
Yeah,
ISO situations they're hoping for. Maybe in like the other leagues they play on, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
So definitely was missing that.
but yeah, that like you said, you got him up out of there. So and that game from there, like you guys didn't lose again. I want to like fast forward all the way to the championship game. You guys do your thing against Aliens, round out the regular season. You guys are in the championship game. The game is pretty tight throughout. Like you're there in Atlanta. Game is pretty tight. You're going kind of head to head with Power, and then you guys just kind of like slip away and ultimately end up winning by like 15 points. When
Yeah.
did you know that you guys were about to like really run away with it and win it? Because it seemed like there was a point where it's like, all right, let's just go finish this, wrap this up, and get number two.
Yeah, it was just like the whole season. We just kept chipping away, like getting stops, and we just played our basketball, bro. And towards the end, we started clicking. I got a few buckets, and I knew it was over. I knew we was going to win, but once we was locked in defensively and we started getting some stops, I knew we was good.
Yeah, that game was tough because I felt like Glenn Rice just kept coming back, but like y'all made the stops you needed to, and I don't think anybody else could do anything against y'all, and
Yeah, for
y'all rounded it
sure.
out. How'd y'all celebrate? I mean, you guys were in the A,
Oh man, we
got a
we
bunch
had a
of
great
celebrities in
time.
town.
Yeah, we chilled when we was in the locker room for a minute, just drinking champagne and
Mm-hmm.
laughing, taking pictures with the family with the trophy. Then we went out to got some food and we just chilled for the rest of the night, bro. Just got some food, chilled in the lounge and relaxed. Then we all left the next day.
Nice,
Well, I did. I flew out the next day, next morning.
man. That's what's up. I'm imagining that you guys kind of reminisce on some points in the season that you guys enjoyed. Did you have any favorite moment from the season that really stuck out? Whether it's just like a team moment or just overall goal that you set out and you hit.
Oh man, just a win, bro, and like uh just the camaraderie and just every day, just it was fun with the guys, bro. So from the shooting game, from Briscoe and Flight, arguing every day, and man, it was just fun times, man. We'd just come together. We go out to eat before the game sometimes, and every day, bro. Like I said, we were just laughing and hooping, bro, and that's all you can ask for, man. That's why I love the Big Three, and every time I see Ice Cube, I thank him for the opportunity because the league is super fun, man, and to play competitive basketball still in the states and him to be able to create the opportunity is it's something I'm not going to take for granted.
Yes, sir. Facts. That's a good perspective. I think just the league is growing and you guys are really the foundation, the pioneers of it. So like just to see the time and like enjoyment that you guys are having is cool from a fan's perspective like myself. So congrats on a
No,
great
for sure.
season. Congrats on winning the chip. Congrats on the
Man.
accolades you achieved this year. Let me ask you real quick, a couple questions. One, do you use the big three? Like when playing in the big three, do you ever have aspirations of getting back in the league through this? I know that you
Yeah.
spent a little time in the G League last year or were planning on it or something like that, but like ultimately it didn't work out that way. Do you use that as like do you use the league as potentially getting back in the NBA or is it more so just you enjoy the league and you play in it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always thinking about getting back in the NBA because I know
Mm-hmm.
I'm NBA player, and I know that I can help any NBA team. I just need just the opportunity just to get out there. And I know a lot of people feel that way too, but I'm always working towards reaching my full potential and getting better. So that's not my only goal. Like I play basketball because I've been playing since I was 5 and I love it. And I'm chasing something to being my best self, the best version of me. You know what I'm saying? So either
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing the big three, if I'm in Puerto Rico, if I'm in Turkey, you know what I'm saying? You always gonna hear about me getting better and doing my thing, you know what I'm saying, at the highest level. And I'm not saying I don't never had dropped the egg or I had bad games, but for the most part, you're gonna see what time it is with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
always thinking about the NBA. I know where I'm supposed to be, and I know where I come from, man. Like I said, I'm an NBA baby. Like I said, I always wanted to be in the NBA since I was 5 years old. I went through high school. I went through all the camps, all the NBA camps, all the ranks. So you know what I'm saying? I always see myself at that light. So I hold myself to that standard. So I'm always putting that type of work in, you know what I'm saying?
Man, that's dope. And you can definitely tell, even like just me watching you for a couple years in the big three, like you can tell drastically the difference based off work and opportunity at the same time. So, man, I love to hear that. Makes me like want to push in that same way and like just reach my full potential as well. So cool to hear you say that. And the last thing I just
Yeah,
wanted to ask is just any goals you have for, this season you're playing overseas right now that you're setting out before maybe next summer in the big three?
yeah. I'm in the Philippines right now. I got here last week. I'm
Okay.
gonna play out here for this conference out here right now, and I just every day I just want to win a day, man. Those are my goals. Tomorrow not promised to any of us, but I know you can't buy time. So when I wake up tomorrow, I'm trying to lock in and make sure that I put this pain in so I could be better the next day or better for the season. And my goal is to when I leave here, I want to come home better than the player I was when I touched down. So either I just have to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Every league I played in, there was a challenger, you know, how I'm going to succeed or how I'm going to get my team to the playoffs or how I'm going to start it off with scoring 3 games, 30 in a row. Now they double team. How can I, you know what I'm saying? How can I beat this defense? So it's always something that I'm trying to, push forward to and try to beat a code. So it's always a challenge and it's always fun. So.
Facts. Cool, man. Well, hope you have that fun and face those challenges, accomplish everything you're trying to overseas, and best of luck. This fall, this winter. Congrats again on a great season. Excited to hopefully see you back next year. Try to get that two-peat. Help
Yes,
Trilogy get
sir.
that four-peat, and appreciate the time. Best of luck again.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I had a great time and I appreciate you, bro. Keep doing your thing.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you as well. Enjoyed the conversation. Have a good one. All right, that was our interview with Earl Clark, Big Three champion and Defensive Player of the Year. Dude's already back with another team, getting ready for his overseas season in the Philippines. So best of luck to him, and excited to see how Trilogy, you know, how they do when they come back, return as two-time defending champions. Like, are they going to be able to do it for a third time? We should know, or we shall see. But Trilogy is a three-time champion. I just want to thank Earl Clark again, and thanking everyone who's tuning in to this episode today. Again, make sure you guys are following on social media at Fourth Man Pod. Trying to post, just kind of like highlight not just this past season, but seasons before that. All the way back to 2017. Throughout the offseason, I'll be doing a lot of that. Also, make sure you're still tuned in because I'll post uh, make posts about the latest episodes that are coming out. Trying to do again trying to get some guys on, do some interviews, do kind of some post recap on the season, whether it's like rookies or guys that have been in the league for a while. So still trying to do those interviews, probably leading up to the holiday season. I would say maybe even a couple. I don't want to guarantee, but maybe I'll even do a couple after Thanksgiving if the time is allotted for it. Not only on my side, but guest sides as well. So that'll be the goal throughout the 2022 season, and then coming into 2023, we're gonna ramp some things up, baby. Got some ideas in place, and we're gonna try to really make this a fun off season. an engaging offseason. And we're like, when we go into the 2023 season, like it's going to be like you've been waiting for Christmas the whole year. That's ultimately what we're trying to do on this end at the Fourth Man. So again, thanks to everyone who is tuned in, and we'll see you guys next time.